Hi everyone, super excited to be here as always. I know it's been a minute. Life has been very busy for me. If you didn't know, I moved, so it's been like so busy trying to adjust and settle, in addition to a lot of other things that have been happening. But I hope you are well. It's the end of the year, it's Christmas, and so I decided to pop in, show my face, and give you some updates. I hope you're doing well. The channel has grown so much since I last showed up, and I've seen a lot of your questions, so I'm sorry that I haven't responded, but I'll do my best to respond either in the comment section or through a video. Apologies if my eyes look like they're away from the camera, but I had some issues trying to set this up, but I'm here, and so if however my eyes are looking I hope that works for you. Super excited to be here again. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ijoma Joshua. You can call me IJ. I'm an attorney, IP lawyer. I work in a software company. And I just wanted to share some updates with you. As you know, I recently got my green card. Actually, I didn't recently get it. I got it like a couple of months ago. So it's been a minute. But I just wanted to share that, and I want to share that not because I want to hear your congratulations, as much as I know that you mean well and you wish me well, but it's really because I started this channel in a very dark place. At the time I started this channel, I didn't have my green card. I was struggling. I was dealing with a lot, which is what I'm going to share in this video. I was dealing with a lot. I was trying to figure out immigration. I was trying to figure out my life, right? And so to be at this point in my life where I finally get my green card, I feel like I need to share that with you guys, because that's why I started. I really started this channel because I wanted to encourage people, but more than that, I wanted to encourage myself. And it's so funny because a lot of people thought, oh, she must have her citizenship or she must have her green card. No. I was like you all, struggling and doing it at the same time, because life is real, right? I didn't start the channel when I had everything figured out. I started it when I was still figuring stuff out, but I felt like people needed encouragement. And I feel like, what better time to share some more encouragement right now at the end of the year? So yeah, please stick around. I want to share the entire story. I want you to know, at least now you know that I didn't have my green card when I started this channel. I was a student on F1 visa like you, struggling. Well, maybe not completely struggling, but like trying to figure stuff out. And so please hang in there and watch the entire video. Like, I really hope you're able to glean some things from the things I'm going to share, and I hope it's encouraging to you, like it's encouraging to me. So you're going to hear a lot of God in my story, because I think God really played an outstanding and amazing role in my story. I went through a lot of disappointments and almost, I want to say, close to really deep sadness throughout this process of being an LLM student. And he really showed me mercy and showed me his grace. And so you're going to hear a lot of that in the course of this story, and so please pay attention to all that I have to say. Another thing to bear in mind is that I have no talking points. So usually before I prepare for my episodes, I have like something written down, like a summary of what I'm going to say, but I don't have any. So if I'm all over the place, please bear with me. This is an emotional story for me. I don't think there'll be any crying, but I don't even know where to start from, if I'm being honest. I have no idea of where to start from. But I came to this school to the United States in 2018, right? It's so interesting when I tell folks that I was moving to Washington State, Seattle. So I moved straight from Nigeria to Seattle. I was going to the University of Washington, and my concentration was going to be in intellectual property law, right? And so it was an amazing, exciting time in my life, but I was alone. I remember arriving at the airport, with my luggage, I felt like the only black girl. It was just a very, I was cringing because I moved from Nigeria, where everyone is black, to America, where in some places you're the only black person, right? And not to say I'm the only black person in Seattle, or I was, but I just said being in the airport was a lot for me. So I remember that feeling, moved into my apartment, and I started a process. Now, what made this journey very difficult for me, and I'm going to tell you all my mistakes, is there was a lot of negativity and I drank buckets of it. And so like like I remember going to the bank immediately I arrived with so much dreams and aspirations, and people, the banker telling me, oh, Nigerians, or oh, no, like LLMs don't get roles until like after 2 years. And I remember how that, like, for some reason and somehow I internalized that. Right? I internalized that, and it was crazy, and that was what I kept hearing from folks at UW. No offense to UW, is a fantastic school. There was just so much negativity. Right? There was so much negativity. I was struggling with cultural shock in the first year. I lost so much weight. Oh, I was posting on Instagram, but I'm telling you, it made no difference, right? I was going through a lot, and I distanced myself from a lot of people, because when you move here, right, especially from my country, Nigeria, the expectation is that you're not coming back, right? So that put a lot of pressure on me, because a part of me actually wanted to come back, because I felt like I should have an option. But it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like I had an option to return. There was a lot of hardship at the time in the country, still is, even though I hope things get better, right? So it was just a lot. There was a lot of pressure for me to figure it out. And mind you, I was really young, in my early 20s when I came to the US, right? And so I had to figure a lot of things for myself. I went through the entire first year of school. I have a lot of stories to share, but let's move past that, because I went through the first year of school, but God showed up for me, right? And so if you know, I've talked about how it's important for you to have your CPT, OPT. I've talked about work authorizations. Please check out those videos. But then an opportunity opened up. I had this interview, and then I got this internship in a fantastic company, a software company, Real Networks. And I'm calling them out because they were a fantastic company, and they set a really good foundation for me in my process, even in my job hunting story. They play a very important role, because that internship plays a very important role. So I would advise you at this point, if you're an LLM student, if you have the opportunity to intern before you graduate. Find an internship opportunity before you graduate, because it does make a difference. So back to my story. I got this internship, and it was amazing, guys. It was fantastic. It was fantastic because it was competitive, but God being so gracious to me, I got the opportunity, and it was an opportunity for me to actually work in the US industry, in the software industry, in the US company for the first time. So I was super excited. I was pumped. So let me tell you something that I did at this point. One thing that made even getting an internship difficult was I wasn't doing a lot of networking. I'm not sure why. I was trying my best, but it was just hard for me learning all those small talk and saying, like, it was difficult for me, right? So even looking for an internship was hard, because even the folks that I would say, please help take a look at my resume, a few folks here and there would tell me, oh, like, LLMs were not just a priority, right? That's the honest truth. LLMs were not just a priority. And so it was very difficult at the time for me to really figure out, like, come on. It was difficult at the time for me to figure out any internship opportunities, or if I was going to get anything. But thankfully to God, and with the help of my supervisors and advisors here and there in the IP LLM program, I got an internship. And it was very competitive, but I got the internship, right? As you know, for LLM students, you need 1 year OPT. So after your program, you need 1 year OPT. You don't need it. You can go back to your country afterwards. But if you want to stay in the country and get some more experience, you get 1 free year, which is called the OPT. I wanted to definitely, use my OPT, which is the extra 1 year you get after your program. But I want to talk about something that I did, in case this is helpful to anybody. As an LLM student, you need time. Right? You just need time, because it takes you a while to find, and I'm not sure what the status quo is now. I feel like there's a lot of information now for LLM students. I feel like there's a lot of, folks are talking more and more about it, as opposed to then. There were no YouTube channels. There was no channel like this telling you, oh, what you're going through is okay. extended my program, right? I extended my LLM program, and that was because I needed more time. I was also preparing for the bar, which I passed, right? I was also preparing for the bar, but I felt like it was such a short time from September of 2018 to summer of 2019 for me to graduate and then all of a sudden start. Like, I was figuring my life for the most of the first year, like, so it was just very difficult for me to see myself jumping out of school and trying to figure out the job market and then having that 1 year period alone. So I extended my program. I gave myself 6 more months. So my master's ended up being from September of 2018 to December of 2019, and that gave me time. That also exposed me to other courses. That gave me time to internship for a while before jumping into the market, and then I'm going to talk about what happened down the line, but that gave me time. So if that's something that you need, I've advised a lot of people to do that. If you need time, take time. Now, the downside to taking time obviously is that, you might have to pay some more additional tuition, but you need to figure out what your priorities are and what makes the most sense for you. If you feel like you don't need the time, that's fine. I needed the time, and so I took the time, added 6 more months to my program, took a privacy class and some other classes, used it to also prepare for the bar while I was interning at the same time and getting a lot of experience. And so at the time I graduated, I was a little bit more, stable, right? I had spent some time working in this company. I could talk to them about, like, oh, hey, can I continue to remain in your company and work for 1 more year during my OPT period, right? So that's what that time did for me. It just really gave me some time to really, balance, if that's a word to say, but it gave me some time to really have a sense of what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, because the program is so short. Even the 1 year that follows, it goes like this. Like, literally, it goes like this. And it was such a wonderful thing because God really came through for me, right? As I said, to get that internship opportunity wasn't a joke, right? There was a lot of competition. But in addition to that, I also graduated, like, with an award, which was fantastic for me. Right? It was a wonderful time in my life. And I remember just crying because I had been told that you couldn't get this and you couldn't get that. Like, prayer saw me through. Prayer saw me through, and I want to encourage you, if you're in that phase where you are all tense about immigration and sorting things out, God works it out. I have to be honest with you. God does work it out. And sometimes when I look back, I ask myself, did I have to worry? Did I have to do all that? Where did it take me to? But such is life. And if you can hear anything that I'm saying, God will work it out. He will make it happen, right? You just need to worry less and really focus. So something that happened to me is that I feel like I missed out on the whole LLM experience. Maybe not completely, but I was so focused on the future and what would happen and what wouldn't happen. Would I have to go back to my country? Oh, people are going to mock me to death. When I think about it, that's such a silly way to think, right? If you have to go back to your country, you have to go back to your country. Such is life, right? But I put a lot of pressure on myself because I felt like I can't go back. I'm stranded, even though like nothing had really happened. I wasn't really stranded, so I was a bit dramatic. Anyway, so we move on to the OPT stage.